Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Now you guys are probably wondering what I'm doing here with these watches in bits in front of you. Well, I had a bit of a brainwave. I want to try something different. I want to try and kind of combine my modding side of things with watch reviews. Now, throughout my time modifying watches and also dealing with Homage watches, I've taken numerous Homage watches apart. Therefore, it's given me some inside knowledge or some intimate knowledge of some of these watch cases, watch parts, a lot of these Homage watches. When I look at all the individual parts, gaskets, bezels, etc., and that kind of lets me know how good they really are in terms of actual build quality, the materials they use, and the differences you get in, like between water resistance ratings and why that is. So I'm gonna try and bring this in, and in hindsight, to be honest, all those hours I put in, taking apart so many Homage watches, doing little repairs, etc. I should actually have been covering them on video because there's a lot of knowledge you guys can gain from actually looking, at the internals of a watch, just to let you know how good they really are. So for this video, as the first video of this series, I'm gonna think of naming it, guys. If you've got a name in mind, please let me know in the comment section below. Now, with this particular one, we're gonna do something different. Now, one of the things which I noticed about these Seestern models and with this Doxa model is that the crown engagement is very smooth. It's buttery smooth. You barely feel the threads sort of combining, and it's awesome. So I want you to have a closer look at these. Now, I've got one of these cheap electronic microscopes, so I'll be using that, giving you some real close-ups. So as I said, with this Seestern Doxa Homage, the threading is awesome, very buttery smooth. Now with this Cadison, I already took it apart slightly. The crown isn't as smooth. You can feel just a slight bit of like sort of grinding, rubbing. It's not as smooth as obviously the Seastern, but it also isn't the worst crown that I've felt. So it'll be interesting to see what I find. So the first one is the Cadison. Now this is off the actual crown tube, and while it's not exactly clear to see, remember this is a quite cheap microscope. Now, what you can see with some of those threads, they're not very uniform. You can see some parts where the thread isn't perfectly straight. You can see it's not been machined perfectly well. Obviously, you can see just bits of schwarf there. We're also going to take a look at the inside of the crown, so the part that mates to it. Now, while it's very difficult to capture this, but you can also see bits of schwarf on the inside of that crown, and some of those threads, again, they're not perfectly smooth. You can see bits of shavings in there, which I think obviously contributes to that very slight gritty feeling. But as I said, this is not the worst example I've seen. Now, for comparison's sake, let's check the Seastern. Now you will see just a bit of debris in there. However, the crown tube, you can see there's quite a difference there, where the actual threads, they're very consistent, and they are relatively sharp. Now remember, this is super close, so you won't get absolute crispness, absolute precision. That's all, I think, very high end precision things. But for the purpose of these watches, you can see it's just a bit smoother. The actual width of those threads is a bit more consistent, and when we look on the inside of the actual crown, you can see similar thing. It's much cleaner than the one on the Cadison. Just very minute bits of debris, but the actual threading is very uniform and looks very clean, which obviously when you combine both and you turn, gives you that buttery smooth feeling. So there we go. That's the first sort of episode to this series I'm going to do, and that's quite interesting, seeing how they look from inside. Now the plan going forward is, on the next video, I'm going to take these two apart, give you guys a bit of an insight into what water resistance actually looks like, the difference in gaskets, but I'd rather not tell you, I'd rather show you guys. So tune in for the next one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this little series. Obviously it'll be continuing on from normal reviews. It's not going to replace them at all, just something additional to look into. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.